Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let me tell the untold story of America's most dangerous drug smugglers, Los Muchachos. In the annals of American crime history, few names have been as quietly influential and elusive as Willie Falcon and Salvatore Sal Magluta. Known as Los Muchachos, the boys, these Cuban-American smugglers built a multi-billion-dollar cocaine empire that rivaled the power of the infamous Colombian cartels. Their story is one of extreme wealth, high-speed boats, bribery, betrayal, and ultimately justice catching up with them. Unlike many other violent drug lords, Falcon and Magluta prided themselves on keeping a low profile, avoiding bloodshed while masterfully outmaneuvering law enforcement for decades. This is the full account of how two Miami boys rose from street-level hustlers to become America's most successful and eventually most wanted drug smugglers. Early life and humble beginnings. Sal Magluta and Willie Falcon were born to Cuban immigrant families who had moved to the United States following Fidel Castro's rise to power. Raised in Miami during the 1960s and 1970s, they grew up in a world where the drug trade was becoming increasingly lucrative. The city was a major hub for smuggling activities, with cocaine and marijuana shipments arriving in massive quantities from South America. Both boys showed little interest in formal education and quickly turned to the streets to make their fortunes. They met in high school and became inseparable, bonding over a shared ambition to get rich fast. By their teenage years, they had already begun engaging in small-time drug deals, eventually transitioning to larger-scale smuggling operations. Their skills in speedboat racing gave them an edge over others in the game. The two became expert racers, winning several national championships. But more importantly, their expertise in handling high-speed boats made them perfect candidates for the burgeoning drug trade. They understood Miami's waterways better than anyone and could transport illicit shipments swiftly and efficiently without attracting attention. How they build the cocaine empire. By the late 1970s, Miami had become the primary entry point for Colombian cocaine entering the U.S. The Medellin and Cali cartels were aggressively pushing their products into American cities, and Falcon and Magluta became essential middlemen in this operation. They began by running shipments for established traffickers, earning millions in commissions. But their ambitions were far greater. By the early 1980s, they had forged direct connections with Colombian suppliers, cutting out intermediaries and maximizing profits. Their empire grew exponentially, with shipments increasing from hundreds of kilos to multiple tons per operation. Unlike other drug traffickers who relied on violence to maintain control, Los Muchachos operated differently. They avoided bloodshed at all costs, preferring to use their business acumen, bribery, and corruption to keep law enforcement at bay. They employed a vast network of lawyers, bankers, and law enforcement officials who ensured their operations ran smoothly without interference. Their fleet of high-speed racing boats allowed them to outmaneuver the Coast Guard, and their extensive intelligence network ensured they always stayed ahead of any investigations. At their peak, Falcon and Magluta were smuggling more than 75 tons of cocaine into the United States, amassing a fortune estimated at over $2 billion. The height of power and the luxurious lifestyle. With their newfound wealth, Falcon and Magluta lived lives of unimaginable luxury. They owned multiple mansions across Miami, private jets, exotic cars, and lavish yachts. They were known to throw extravagant parties attended by celebrities, politicians, and models. Unlike many cartel figures who flaunted their wealth recklessly, Los Muchachos understood the importance of keeping a low profile. While they enjoyed luxury, they did not attract unnecessary attention by engaging in public feuds or violent confrontations. Instead, they invested heavily in legitimate businesses, using them as fronts to launder their illicit gains. Their influence extended deep into Miami's political and legal system. By paying off officials, judges, and jurors, they ensured that their operations remained protected. So here is the beginning of the end. The 1991 arrests. Despite their careful approach, law enforcement had been building a case against Falcon and Magluta for years. The Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the U.S. Marshal Service worked together to dismantle their empire. In 1991, authorities finally arrested Falcon and Magluta. They were charged with drug trafficking, money laundering, and conspiracy. The case against them was strong, with multiple witnesses, financial records, and intercepted communications providing clear evidence of their crimes. Please don't forget hit the subscribe button. However, their vast financial resources allowed them to mount an aggressive defense. They hired some of the best lawyers in the country and even managed to bribe multiple jurors, leading to an unexpected acquittal in 1996. Bribery, betrayal, and the final conviction. The shocking acquittal raised suspicions, and investigators soon discovered that Falcon and Magluta had spent millions bribing jurors and witnesses. This led to further charges, and in 2002, they were retried under tighter security. This time, justice prevailed. Sal Magluta was sentenced to 205 years in federal prison, later reduced to 195 years, effectively ensuring he would never be free again. Willie Falcon, on the other hand, took a plea deal and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He was released in 2017 and was later deported to the Dominican Republic to prevent him from resuming his criminal activities in the U.S. legacy and impact. The story of Falcon and Magluta is one of immense power, wealth, and eventual downfall. Unlike their Colombian counterparts, they avoided the spotlight and violence, using intelligence and strategic corruption to sustain their empire for decades. Their case exposed the deep-rooted corruption in Miami's legal and political system, leading to widespread reforms in law enforcement and judicial processes. Today, their story serves as a cautionary tale about the reach and influence of organized crime and the eventual consequences of a life built on illicit activities. Conclusion: Los Muchachos remain legends in the world of drug smuggling, their story immortalized in books and documentaries. While their empire has long crumbled, their legacy is a testament to the power and risks of the drug trade. In the end, no matter how rich or powerful, justice always finds a way to catch up.